What's up, YouTube? It's Jaleesa McFat. I'm back with your update. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and dive right on in. MoNique has called out Oprah. Now, MoNique jumped on Instagram and wrote a letter to Oprah, and she says, "Dear Oprah, I feel compelled to write you this open letter after observing the disparity in the way you seem to treat people who were accused of the same allegations. You did an interview on the CBS morning show and were asked about Harvey Weinstein by Norah O'Donnell, and you said, as it pertained to him, that you would always try to look at the rainbow in the clouds. Whatever is the silver lining. You also said, if we make this all about Harvey Weinstein, then we have lost the moment. When you either are or were going to be a part of the documentary on Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons, how is that not making it all about them? Interestingly, brother MJ was acquitted and deceased. So how is he not off limits? Russell and Harvey were accused of the same thing. So in fairness, how do you not support the accusers of both, as you said you did with Russell Simmons, or you look for the silver lining for both, like you said you did with Harvey Weinstein? The only difference between the two is their skin color. And doesn't Harvey have way more accusers? My personal experience with you is you've watched me as a black woman be accused of being difficult for not promoting Precious internationally at Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and Your Request, despite the fact my deal was with Lee Daniels Entertainment. And how are you for black women when you hear Tyler on audio saying I was right and he was going to speak up, but you or him still haven't said a word? When I was 16 and I met you at your local show in Baltimore, I told you I wanted to be just like you when I grew up. You responded, "You have to work really, really hard." My 16-year-old self didn't know that you, in your silence in the face of wrongdoing, would make my life harder. Lastly, please consider standing by the people who are right and not just the right people. Love you to life, MoNique. Now, we all know MoNique has been very vocal lately about the wrongdoings or how she feels wronged by people. I was kind of surprised that MoNique called out Oprah like this, but it kind of was expected. A few other people have called out Oprah for wanting to take on the Russell Simmons documentary, but clearly MoNique isn't holding back. It should also be noted that MoNique got her first comedy special in a decade on Showtime. It's going to be called MoNique and Friends, live from Atlanta. MoNique proudly proclaimed on Instagram, "They tried to make a bitch disappear. You can't keep a good bitch down." It's executive produced by MoNique and her husband and manager. The two revealed the difficulty in finding the right partner to air her new material after attempting to lead a widespread boycott of Netflix, who they claim presented them a lowball offer of $500,000 for the rights of her next stand-up special. MoNique is an Academy Award-winning actress, New York Times bestseller author, and producer, and she told Essence last year she learned patience from sounding the alarm on the lack of pay equity in Hollywood, especially for black women, because she understood where many were coming from. So you know what? Shout out to MoNique for standing up for black women. I'm actually glad that she got her stand-up special. It will air on Showtime February 7th, 2020. In other news, child, Kodak Black will file an appeal for his prison sentence. He was previously given 46 months in his federal gun case, but Kodak and his team feel like he shouldn't have even gotten that much time. Kodak's lawyer Bradford Cohen spoke on the matter, saying Kodak shouldn't have been classified as a prior convicted felon at sentencing. He also said the rapper's previous guilty pleas didn't end with the outcome of conviction because those deals noted there would be no conviction on his record if he obeyed all the terms. Kodak and his team are saying the error made way for a harsher sentence, and they're pushing for the appeal. If that appeal goes through, his lawyer and his team say he could be released by the end of 2021. Child, just stay out of trouble. Alright, so Lil Wayne finally dropped Funeral. This is his 13th studio album. And there was like 24 songs on the project. It was released under Young Money Records. Now, personally, I like the song Mahogany. I like Mamma Mia. I like Not Me. Harden grew on me. And to be honest with you, I'm still waiting on the album to grow on me. My first listen, I really wasn't feeling the project except Mahogany at first. But the album is expected to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 200. I really didn't even know what to rate the album. I mean, Funeral gives me, I say 6 out of 10. I say that. It wasn't my favorite Lil Wayne album. To be real with you, my favorite Lil Wayne album was the Carter 3. Came out around 2008. Did $1 million first week in sales. But you know, that was before digital sales were, out and around. It was still physical copy. But Wayne says he has 20 more albums. I hope they don't sound like Funeral. And that's coming from a Lil Wayne fan. I'm definitely looking forward to more Wayne music. We'll see what happens. Child, in other news, R. Kelly's ex, Azriel Clary, reportedly will cooperate with the feds in his case. Now, sources close to the situation say Clary isn't scared of exposing the singer because she no longer has any ties with R. Kelly. It was also noted that she's been getting death threats along with her family, but that's not enough to discourage her from revealing the information about what went on with him. Now, R. Kelly's lawyer Greenberg spoke about the situation, and he said, "It's not news to me. I've suspected it all along, but you can't get in the way of love. Rob's love for her." The whole situation still sounds pretty sick to me, but I'm just gonna wait for trial, like I said before. All right, looks like Lil Baby is keeping his word and putting everybody up on notice. The Atlanta rapper is set to release his anticipated album My Turn on February 28th, 2020. We all know Lil Baby's been having a good time lately. 2019 was definitely his year, and I'm looking forward to see what other sounds he can give me. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. I will say that. In other news, Nicki Minaj is back on the scene. Ooh. And yes, child, she is back and looking good as usual. She's been switching it up again, wearing different color wigs and outfits, and she's looking a little bit slimmer, I will say that. She's been back on the scene doing club postings, and it seems like she's premiered a new song. Now, the song is called Yikes. It's definitely a bop, and if you haven't heard the snippet, you need to go check it out. At this point, I don't know if we're getting an album or a mixtape. Whichever she delivers, I'll be here to check it out. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and dig into this. MoNique isn't the only person calling somebody out. Mase, that's right, Mase is calling out Diddy. Now, he's calling him out for not paying him and other artists what they're owed. Mase jumped on Instagram and wrote a long paragraph, honey, but y'all get into this. He ats Diddy and says, "Diddy, I heard your Grammy speech about how you are now for the artist and about how the artist must take control back. So I will be the first to take that initiative. Also, before we ask of other ethnicities to do us right, we should do us as Black people better, especially the creators. I heard you loud and clear when you said that you are now for the artists. And to that, my response is if you want to see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices knowingly has continued purposely starving your artists and been extremely unfair to the very same artists that helped you obtain that Icon Award on the iconic Bad Boy label. For example, you still got my publishing from 24 years ago in which you gave me $20K, which makes me never want to work with you as any artist wouldn't after you know someone is robbing you and tarnishing your name when you don't want to comply with his horrendous business model. However, people would always ask, what's up with Mase? So I would be forced to still perform to not look crazy when I was getting peanuts and the robbery would continue. So many great moments and people's lives in music were lost. But again, I rode with you in the face of death without flinching, and you still wouldn't do right. I never said anything because I wanted to wait until I was finally financially great, so I can be ensured that I was addressing this from a pure place and not out of a place of spite. To add insult, you keep screaming Black excellence and love, but I know love isn't free. So I offered you $2 million in cash, just a few days ago to sell me back my publishing as his biggest artist alive. That always show you respect for you giving me an opportunity at 19 years old. Your response was, if I can match what the European guy offers him, that would be the only way I can get it back. Or else I can wait until I'm 50 years old and it will revert back to me from when I was 19. You bought it for about $20K and I offered you $2 million in cash. That is not Black excellence at all. When our own race is enslaving us, if it's about us owning, it can't be about us owning each other. No more hiding behind love. You changed. Give the artists back their money so they can take care of their families. You know what, child? I read that on Instagram. I really did. I really did sit there and read it word by word. And the only thing I could think of was, what took you so long? Not just him, but I'm saying, like, what took anybody long to call out Diddy? You know what I'm saying? Like, over the past few years, we have seen people get signed to Bad Boy. They on top 1 minute, and then they just fall on off. It's been a number of groups and artists that I've seen that was signed to Bad Boy that are no longer pumping out music to this day. Now, personally, I'm not gonna jump all in P. Diddy's personal financial business or his label boss moves he makes, but it does seem suspicious. We all know Bad Boy Records is iconic, but we can't deny that something is definitely going on. Diddy has definitely profited from all his business ventures as well as Bad Boy, but his artists don't seem to have too much longevity. I really have noticed that too. But to hear it come from Mase after all these years, pay that man. Personally, he really shouldn't have sold it for $20K, but still, Diddy got some money. Pay that man something. But child, I'ma stay in my place. I'm just giving my opinion. But I hope Mase does see some cash, as well as some of his other artists that was signed to Bad Boy that we probably will never hear from again. But child, I'm just saying, much luck to Mase. Hopefully he can get a phone call from Diddy, or maybe we just won't hear a thing. But y'all, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Make sure you like some pictures, and most of all, subscribe. I'll be back real soon with more info for you. Stay tuned. McFat was here.